Alright guys, so I escaped Ohio. You wouldn't believe it. It's insane how I did it. It's all cheap out there, and this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna take you guys to the back of my trailer here shortly and show you what I did. I basically used a tarp and whatnot, and some load locks and wood and whatever, and I built a bulkhead. I have frozen, it's actually down to -10 now, in the front of my trailer, and I have dry proc in the back that's about 44, 48 degrees, 42, whatever. But it's not freezing the back. So I was able to take this load, which was a divided load, a temperature split load, frozen and dry, and make it work for me and escape a bad area for a decent rate. It's creative, it's doing what you gotta do. And it also opened my eyes to possibilities of taking like a refrigerator, a temperature controlled partial, which I would never usually look at, and maybe a dry partial, and putting them together, or like 2 dries and a reefer partial in the nose or something. You know, haul something around at like 40 degrees, the back will stay up around 60 probably. And you know, to just try that when I'm in a bad area, you know, get out, pick something else up, and do a couple LTLs. It's kind of a new possibilities I'm thinking about. I probably won't do much of it, but I like that if I needed to, if I ended up in such a situation, I might be able to make something work. But I will say, if you decide to do what I'm going to show you, you need to be very careful. It's no joke that you could end up with a freight claim, and I don't know what your deductible is, whether it's $1,000 or $2,500 or whatever your cargo deductible is, because sometimes they're different from your typical accident, you know, insurance deductible. Like I want to say my cargo deductible is $2,500 or something like that, 2,500. It's something up there, but it ain't cheap. So you got to be smart about it. You got to do it right. I found this out through a video on YouTube actually. The guy basically used some lumber and, you know, used some load locks and whatever, and a tarp, and he was hauling ice cream up front. He just basically, if you think of how you use a divider, a lot of people do it not to haul multiple freight, but to only cool a portion of their trailer. So if you don't want to try to get your whole trailer to -20, you can just cool the front of it. While I don't know if I'd use a tarp necessarily for that. I mean, I suppose it could work, be a little more fuel efficient, trying to cool down part of the trailer, not all of it, when you have the load on. And a regular bulkhead would probably be good for that, but those aren't cheap. They're like $900 or more, I think. I'm gonna look into the price, and I'll let you guys know in another video when I find out. But be aware that, you know, if your trailer's like sealed up and you're going down the road and, you know, it falls down and you can't get in there and fix it, or you don't notice for some reason, and, you know, you freeze or whatever else there is, or, you know, something happens like that, you could result in a claim. So I'm not saying that you should do this. I am just saying that it was a really creative way to get out of a really bad situation as far as freight market goes, and to kind of diversify a little bit. So why don't y'all take a trip with me to the back of my trailer, and in the next clip I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like back there right now. Alright, so we're running a -9 load coming back here. I already got my lock off, just need to open the door. I got creative, almost got stuck in Ohio. $1.50 mile land, like, it's crazy. Damn it. And the wind's blowing. Alright, so it was crazy. Get a up in here. We got dry product in the back, we got -10 in the front. I don't know how well you can see that, but I ended up building a bulkhead. So we got -10 frozen dough and stuff up front, and we got dry product, which I believe is syrup and stuff, maple syrup. That back there, if you hit the tarp with the temp gun, the tarp is saying 39, but it's actually -10 back there. If you get down maybe right there, yeah, you can see there's a little bit more air flowing a little bit out down there. It's about 21 coming out, but it's frozen back there. But if you pull up this product here, you know, we got 45, 47. Everything back here is basically 40 degrees. It's not freezing, which maple syrup wouldn't really freeze. But yeah, we got about 40 degrees on all this back here. And, you know, basically, I saw this load posted up, and was posted all day. I called on it. I called on it, and I was wondering why it said it needed a bulkhead. It was paying better than everything else on the board. And I said, oh yeah, it's mine frozen up front and dry in the back. I was like, well, dang. You know, can I separate it? You know, maybe just take the frozen or take the dry or whatever. He's like, nah, I don't think they're gonna do it for that. And it's like, well, shame we couldn't do nothing. And I ended up seeing something, and I called him back. Like, I think we can make something happen here, but can you come up a little bit? Came up, we got about $100 more, and it was still, you know, base paid for the supplies I had to buy. And I got out of Ohio just by being creative. That's obviously not an ideal bulkhead, but it's working. It's about 40 degrees back here. It's freezing up front. I saw a video of a guy who did this. He was hauling -20 ice cream up front just to cool only part of a trailer, not to cool the whole thing. I was honestly skeptical. I thought it was gonna fall. I will say I don't like load locks pushing vertically on my ceiling, because you end up getting stuff like this happening. I don't know how well you can see that there, but it will start to push away from that metal bar. That was already split like that, but you can see where I filled in with some silicone right there. It'll start to separate when you're pushing up, when guys will stand your load locks up like that. It'll damage your trailer. But I think that'll be all right. I might look into this again if I get in trouble, maybe take a frozen or refrigerated partial out. I'd be more comfortable with a non-frozen partial, because it won't, you know, get as close to freezing down here. And you know, split a reefer partial with a dry partial if I get stuck in an area or something. From what I understand, regular bulkheads cost about $900 or so. They're not cheap. Some guys use styrofoam board for once use. You know, go to Home Depot, get a styrofoam board thing. I kind of like this here. Maybe do that and a styrofoam board or something. I don't know. But yeah, as soon as I get this stuff edited up and uploaded, I'm gonna start on this week's rate video, or not rate, but you know, loads I took this week. It's been a half week again since I came out of the house, but yeah, sometimes you gotta get creative and make something happen for yourself.